Morgan Housel, surprising insights on the psychology of money. Let me tell you this, have you ever noticed how differently people handle money? Some save it, some spend it recklessly, and others seem to never run out of it. But what if I told you there's a hidden psychology behind all these behaviors? That's where Morgan Housel comes in, with his surprising insights on the psychology of money. You might be wondering, what exactly does he say? Let me tell you this. Housel delves into why people act the way they do when it comes to finances, revealing truths that could change the way you think about your own money habits. Here's something you should know. Housel believes that understanding our money mindset is crucial because it shapes our decisions. So, let's dive into his intriguing findings and discover how we can apply them to improve our financial lives. Firstly, Housel argues that people often overestimate their ability to predict the future. You might be thinking, I'm so smart, I can always see the future. But the truth is, we're all prone to overconfidence. This overconfidence leads us to make bad financial decisions. For instance, imagine you're at a grocery store and see a deal on a product you don't need but think it's a great deal. You decide to buy it, thinking you'll save money. However, you end up spending more than you planned and regretting the purchase later. Housel calls this the future discounting illusion, which is when we discount future costs and benefits too much. To combat this, try to practice financial foresight by making a list of all your expenses for the week or month and seeing if you can cut back. It's essential to remember that predicting the future is hard, even for experts, so don't be too hard on yourself when you make mistakes. Another surprising insight from Housel is the concept of mental accounting. You might be wondering, what is mental accounting? Well, imagine you receive a bonus at work. Instead of spending it on something you've been wanting, you put it in a special savings account labeled emergency fund. Now, if something unexpected happens, you might feel tempted to dip into that money, despite having set aside a portion for emergencies. Mental accounting occurs when we categorize money based on its source, intended use, or psychological associations. This leads us to make irrational financial decisions. To overcome mental accounting, try to treat all your money equally, regardless of its origin. Imagine if you had one piggy bank for all your income. Would you still be tempted to spend on non-essential items? It's important to remember that every dollar has the same value, no matter where it comes from. By treating all your money as equal, you can make better financial decisions and avoid falling into the trap of mental accounting. Housel also highlights the importance of anchoring, a cognitive bias that occurs when we rely too heavily on a single piece of information when making decisions. You might be thinking, what does anchoring have to do with money? Well, consider a situation where you're shopping for a new car. The dealer tells you that the car you want costs $30,000. Even though you know the price is negotiable, you start feeling that the car is expensive because it's anchored in your mind. This anchoring effect can lead to overspending, especially when dealing with large purchases. To fight anchoring, try to look at the bigger picture. Imagine if you were buying a house instead of a car. Would you still be swayed by the initial price? Anchoring can be challenging to overcome, but by taking a step back and considering the big picture, you can make more rational financial decisions. Remember, the initial price doesn't determine the final cost, and it's essential to avoid letting it dictate your purchasing decisions. Another fascinating insight from Housel is the concept of loss aversion, which is the tendency to prefer avoiding losses over acquiring equivalent gains. You might be wondering, how does loss aversion relate to money? Well, think about a situation where you've saved money in a retirement account. You're happy with your progress, but then you hear about a potential market downturn. Suddenly, you start worrying about losing your hard-earned savings. This worry can lead to panic selling, even if the market is rebounding. Loss aversion makes us focus more on potential losses than on potential gains, leading to poor financial decisions. To overcome loss aversion, try to reframe your mindset. Imagine if you were saving for a vacation instead of retirement. How would you react to hearing about a potential downturn? By reframing your mindset, you can reduce the impact of loss aversion and make more rational financial decisions. Lastly, Housel emphasizes the importance of context dependency, which means that our financial decisions are influenced by the environment we find ourselves in. You might be wondering, how does context dependency affect my finances? Well, think about a situation where you're surrounded by people who spend excessively. You might start to mimic their behavior, even if you know it's not in your best interest. Similarly, if you're in a community that values frugality, you might adopt those habits. Context dependency can lead to poor financial decisions if we're not aware of it. To combat context dependency, try to surround yourself with positive influences. Imagine if you were in a group of friends who encourage each other to save money and invest wisely. How would that affect your financial decisions? By surrounding yourself with positive influences, you can make better financial choices and avoid falling into the traps of context dependency. In conclusion, Morgan Housel's insights on the psychology of money offer valuable lessons that can help us make better financial decisions. By recognizing our biases and tendencies, we can take control of our money mindset and improve our financial lives. Remember, understanding our money mindset is crucial because it shapes our decisions. So, let's embrace these insights and apply them to our daily financial lives. Whether you're trying to save for a dream vacation, build an emergency fund, or plan for retirement, these principles can guide you towards smarter financial decisions. As Housel says, the most successful investors are not the ones with the best ideas, but the ones who can stick to their plans under pressure. By applying these insights and staying disciplined, you can achieve your financial goals and live a happier, more fulfilling life. Here's something you should know. The path to financial success isn't easy, but it's worth the effort. So, let's commit to making better financial decisions today and watch as our lives transform for the better.